Welcome to another episode of Average Jocks. As you can tell, this is our Christmas episode. We've invited a few of our friends on to spread some holiday cheer and to take some hot topics in the hockey world. Obviously, we just finished covering the World Junior A Championship, so we're going to talk about a little bit of fantasy Olympic team making. We welcome Evan Lefebvre back on, and our coach from Sweden, Adam Van Ettinger. Welcome, boys.
Thank you.
Thanks
nice to be here.
Adam, so much more courteous than Evan.
Courteous?
Courteous, yes.
Okay. He thinks he's a normal now, so he doesn't need to be that courteous.
Exactly. I'm the third wheel.
Take these off?
We can take the Christmas hats off.
Oh, Lord, I was tight.
All right. I think we should hop right into the team. So I challenged all three of these boys to put together their dream Team Canada if they were GM of the Olympic team. Do we have any volunteers to start?
I volunteer.
Justin,
I'm up late.
Oh, you're volunteering somebody else.
Yeah.
I've been told I need to start because my Wi-Fi wasn't working. And,
well, that's okay.
Zoom link he gave me, so. All right.
Whoever wants to go, I don't care.
I'll go first. Justin wants me to do it. I'll go first. That's okay with me. My first line. I don't think it's any surprise or big surprise to anybody, but I'm keeping together Bergeron, Crosby, and Marchand.
Okay.
No surprise there. I don't think I need much explanation. They've been dominant. They've been there. My second line is Mark Stone, Connor McDavid, and Mitch Marner.
Interesting.
Okay.
All right.
Third line is Huberdeau, Nathan McKinnon, and Matt Barzal.
Ooh.
Okay.
And my fourth line is Braden Point, Steven Stamkos, and Sean Couture.
Oh, Couturier.
Should we just tackle forwards and then go back a second time for D?
I think so.
Okay. All right. So some names I've definitely left off my team up there, but Evan, we'll hear from you.
Oh, my first line is more of the powerhouse first line. So I got McDavid, Crosby, and McKinnon. They're all centers, but they have enough centers on Team Canada. Second line, I kind of did the Adam thing. So I kept Bergie and Marchand together, but I had Stammer on the right wing with them. A little bit more of a shooter with those two. Then my third line is Scheifele, Huberdeau, and Barzal. And my fourth line is a little interesting, which I think I might even change the last right wing.
No, there's no fucking changes. You've already submitted it to the IOC. There's no fucking changes. Who do you have? Who'd you write down?
I got Suzuki, Dubois, and Point.
All right, that's not bad.
Okay.
All right, Justin, let's hear what you got.
All right, my top line, I went McKinnon, Crosby, McDavid as well. I would love to see Crosby play with McDavid. I mean, it'd be hell of a pair.
On the power play. Keep going.
My second line, I have Tavares, Marner, and Stamkos. My third line, I had Marchand, Bergeron with Huberdeau. And then my fourth line, I had Stone, Giroux, and Point.
Yikes. All right.
I think Joe completely disagrees with all of us.
What's the yikes for? You got to explain.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you my team. This team's winning gold.
I think every team is winning gold.
No, this team is winning gold. And just a shout out, by the way, this new Apple app, what is this? Freeform. I don't know, you guys probably can't see it, but what I actually did was crop from Daily Face-Off all the players. So it's kind of cool. I have all their jerseys with their names line up. I was able to do a lineup. It was pretty sick. First line. Nate McKinnon on the right. Connor McDavid in the middle. Zach Hyman on the left. Now, before I hear any gas, Justin.
Wait, I already did.
You have... We have Chris Kunitz made Team Canada because of Crosby. Jamie Benn made Team Canada because of Tyler Seguin. There's always going to be the superstar's preferred winger that's going to make that team. And this is no different. You need a bum, and I'm not saying Zach Hyman's a bum, but he's not a McDavid, and he's not a Nathan McKinnon. You need one of those guys on that line to get those boys the puck, because they're going to be there to make plays, and they're going to be there to shoot. So Zach Hyman is going to the net, he's going to the corners, because he can skate with these boys. Second line, 100% agree with Adam. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Marchand, Crosby, Bergeron. Third line. You have Steven Stamkos on the wing. You have Nick Suzuki up the middle. And you have Mitch Marner on the right wing. And my fourth line is Mark Scheifele on the left, Braden Point in the middle, and Bo Horvat on the right. That's more my defensive line.
Well, Horvat would be a center on that line, right?
No, Braden Point.
Well, he's probably the best, one of the best faceoff.
Yeah, Horvat's probably the better face-off guy.
Here, switch them.
Do your research, Joel.
Whatever.
Your show.
My show, so leave me alone.
You're
right.
watching and
All
you
right.
write the rules.
So what? Let's just go. Adam's team. I give Adam's team an A minus. I think he drafted a good team.
I think everybody drafted a good team.
No,
I don't know.
Justin,
I don't
I'm-
like
I'm
that
giving
guy.
Evan a B.
That's just because I'm not agreeing with your stuff there. You're the only one who has Zach Hyman, so I think I have to give yours a C.
And Bowler
Yeah,
had
but I
that.
can agree with
Okay,
Joel on that.
Adam. Okay, Adam's the only one grading here. Actually, I subtract my grades. Adam's actually a fucking coach. So Adam, you grade the teams, team by team. What do you give Evan? What's Evan's GM grade?
See,
Don't be political.
know.
Don't spare his feelings. He's not your friend.
So we're grading just the forwards right now, correct?
Yes, just the forwards. What's his forward grade for the guys he
wait,
selected?
Evan, say your forward lines again, because there's a lot of names out there.
I'll run them quick. McDavid,
Yeah.
Crosby, McKinnon. Marchand,
Yeah.
Bergie, Stammer. Huberdeau, Scheifele, Barzell. Suzuki, Dubois, Point.
B. And Joel is right, B.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
That fourth line affected you a little bit.
All right,
It really did.
Justin. Let's listen. Let's get to Adam's grade for Justin's team.
All right. McKinnon, Crosby, McDavid, Stamkos, Tavares, Marner, Marchand, Bergeron, Huberdeau, and then Stone, Drew, Point.
Stone, Drew, Point. Who is that second line again?
Second line was Stamkos, Tavares, Marner.
That's a B minus. I think that's the worst one out of it all.
Oh,
I think that's the worst one out of it all, to be honest with you. I don't know. Claude Giroux, yeah, he's great. Maybe back in the day he was good, but I would even have him in, if we had, 6 lines, I'd have him probably, lower than that. And John Tavares, yeah, he's good. Maybe for a two-way guy, but there's better guys out there now. I just find he's smart. Yeah, he's older,
Well, he's there for Marner mostly.
Yeah, but at the same time, Marner, when you have, McDavid there, when you have Braden Point there, to me, he's going to be just fine. You see how he goofs around. He blends in with anybody.
That's
yeah.
To me, it's
So
you, Joe. I remember your team the most, actually.
Okay.
I can actually see Hyman. I can actually your logic behind it. It does make sense. And I'm dating back a little bit, because when they were actually talking about the players actually going to the Olympics, they were saying that Hyman actually could have a chance because of how well he did with the Leafs that year. Just because he played on those top line, he was getting into the net, he was being gritty. I can agree with that. I'd actually go that one as an A minus, to be very honest with you, because you do have that shutdown role that everybody needs. You didn't break up a line that works in reality, who's been the top line for a really good time, for a long time. Maybe you lost some points because you put Bo Horvat on the wing, but we can ignore that a little bit. But that's still a good fourth line. So yeah.
And what do you give yourself? Let's try and be unbiased as possible. A plus.
I'm not gonna put myself down here, because I thought I had a good mix of old and new, and
I had you in the A's as well. I reserve A pluses for. There's always room for improvement. I don't often give an A plus. I would have gave you an A.
Okay.
All right. Defense. Do we want to start with Adam again?
This one was tough for me.
I actually have 8 guys.
Yeah, I put 7. But if we want to do 8, I know who my 8th guy is.
and I might get a little controversy coming to the end here, but these are no particular order. I didn't put these in particular order.
You didn't put them in pairings.
I put them in pairings.
Okay, then I don't care the order, just who you have playing with who.
So I have Makar and Ekblad.
Okay.
I have Jacob Chychrun and Dougie Hamilton.
Okay.
And then I have Ryan Pollock and Alex Pietrangelo.
Okay. And who's your
fourth
pair?
And then my 7 and 8 is Thomas Chabot and Drew Doughty.
Interesting. Okay.
Evan?
All right, so I've got Taze and Makar.
Okay.
I've got Chychrun and Letang. And I've got Morgan Riley and Dougie, and Chabot and Pietrangelo as my 2 extras.
As your 2 extras?
Yeah. They've both been very poorly this year.
Okay, sounds good. Adam, do you want to give that one a grade? Should I tell him, or do you want to tell him?
You got it this time. I've already hurt his feelings.
I think that's a D+ on your having, just based on the fact that you have Pietrangelo as an extra. Pietrangelo,
to be honest with you, Riley, I would not have anywhere near here. He takes too many risks. I think he's going to be like PK Subban when he was with the last in Sochi there, when he barely played. He was healthy scratch.
Fair.
I think Riley, he's very good for the Leafs, but he's way too offensive, takes way too many chances, and I don't think he'll mix in with the group.
I agree with him.
To be fair, let me defend my point here.
Defend your point. I don't think it changes the grade. But Adam, do you agree with my assessment of a D+ just based on what he paired up?
Let me explain.
I'll let him explain.
He's a bottom for a bottom pairing. I don't have Pietrangelo over Makar, and I don't have him over Dougie. Not the way Dougie's been playing this year. And to be honest, the way he's been playing defensively this season has been not up to his standards. If you look analytically, Pietrangelo is not a top 6 defenseman out of Canadians' options defensively. That's why I didn't put him in the top. He's a spare, and if they need a little bit more offense out of one of their guys on defense, they'll put Pietrangelo in. I shouldn't have had Riley in the starter, but it's just because I wanted a left-handed guy on the left seat.
Yeah, I did that a little bit. I tried to go right and left as well.
So, Adam, what's your grade? I don't think they care what my grade is. What do I know?
I honestly say, I'm going to be a little higher. I think it's C- C, because I can see that pairing of Taze and Makar, like you said. I think that's very good because, like you said, it goes along hand to hand with Hyman and McDavid, and I could totally agree with that. I get that Pietrangelo hasn't gotten those numbers defensively like he did this year, but when it comes to a world event like this, to me, experience thumps anything. He's been there. That's why I still have Drew Doughty with me. He's got that experience. He's still playing like he is. He's Pietrangelo has been put in that role. He's been put up into that offensive role, playing the power play. I haven't seen too many Vegas Golden Knights being in Sweden because it's too late at night. They play at 4 a.m. in the morning. But I can't see him as that extra. I got to give C.
All right, Justin.
All right, so this was tough for me. There's a lot of options for D. I got Makar and Theodore. Then I had Pietrangelo, Letang, and then Doughty, Ekblad. And then my extras were Burns and Chychrun. Just felt, I don't know. For me, it was I was trying to get a good fit for each pairing for offense and defense. What do you think, Adam?
Oh, I don't know. To me too, Chris Letang, I think it's hard putting Chris Letang in these lineups too and everything, and Burns too. Burns has never been here before, even when he was in his prime.
I had him as an extra though.
I know, but just to have it, I got to give him the rank. I got to give D+ C- maybe.
Wow, You just don't like me today.
I'm sorry, man. But it just, to me, it's hard to I like the Doughty, I do. Shea Theodore's there, but to me, Jacob Chychrun's fine. Ekblad is fine. Ryan Pollock, you have that shutdown guy. You have Doughty there who's got the experience. But again, it's that Chris Letang and it's just some of the others is just, to me, is I think they're past their prime. And Brett Burns, to me, I don't think he can ever be in that situation. There's a reason why he's never really won a cup, and he's really never taken the step up in playoffs to really bring his team there. To me, I don't think in the short-term competition when it comes to that, he can't fit in. Again, he's like PK Subban when it comes to Sochi. He would be too much, be too fancy because he's very offensive, and then he'd lose it and not play.
That's fair. I tried to go based off like this season. Like I almost had Morrissey in there just because of the year he's having.
Yeah, he could be a good one actually.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd be that bad in there. I don't think he's out of place.
I had him over Letang, and then I switched and put Letang where Morrissey was.
I think you would have got a higher grade if you would have kept Morrissey over Letang.
Look, it's actually scratched off.
Yeah, it is. Dummy.
I agree with you on Letang, Justin. Don't worry about it.
Thanks, Evan.
Yeah, the fucking the dummies of the class here, the season D students.
All right, well, let's hear yours.
Listen,
All
let's
right.
hear Hyman.
All right, Coach Adam.
Yes.
My top pairing. I have
Okay.
Cale Makar with Alex Pietrangelo.
Yeah.
My second pairing, I have Aaron Ekblad with Dougie Hamilton. My third pairing, since I need a left-handed shot, I have Morgan Riley with Noah Dobson. My extras, I have Caden Gooley and I have Thomas Shabbat. So the reason I'm bringing Caden Gooley, he's not going to play a game. I just want to make that clear. He is not playing a game. He's there to just get the experience he has. He's already worn the C for Canada at the World Juniors last year. You see that he's already walked in his first year in the NHL as a top 2 defenseman on a team, playing shutdown minutes, and this team is getting lit up defensively.
Yeah.
So he's getting that experience. He's solely there to learn from those guys in the top 6. I just want to make that clear.
No, which I think is pretty accurate and pretty fair to say. And I actually like Cale Makar. Like the reason why, like Ekblad, Tangelo, Dougie Hamilton, like the only reason those guys are there is to help him through it because it'll be his first big event. Well, he's played in the World Juniors before, but when you play like the World Cup or the Olympics, it's a whole different ball game. It's completely different, and he just needs someone to mentor him. So Pietrangelo can do that, Ekblad can do that. So I think that's fine. Noah Dobson, I was a little surprised when I heard that actually.
He's a big boy. He's producing well. He's young. He's another one where he's that next generation coming up with, the Shabbats and the Gooley. And obviously Makar's in that group, but he is the exception to exceptions when it comes to defense. There's not going to be another one like him for a long time.
My thing with that is like putting him with the guy like Morgan Riley. I could see there being problems there just because, again, how Morgan Riley, like I spoke about, being flashy, going up and defending the rush, going up with it. Noah Dobson being young and not having that experience. If he gets caught, there's a 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s. If you have like a line with like, go to Sweden, you have like Zibanejad, you have Gabriel Landeskog, like those guys are going to tear that guy up. Like, they're going to be dominant. So that's the only where I have that problem is those two together. It's either you bring in, Dobson, and you put him with like again the Dougie Hamilton or the Aaron Ekblad to guide him, who will be responsible for him if he does make that mistake, because he will. Because again, it's a whole different ball game when you get there, especially comes to the gold medal, bronze medal, whatever it is, to guide him and help him out. If he does mess up, they can make up for it. Riley won't do that. Riley will create problems for him because, like I spoke about, and if you bring in Riley, then you really need a big defensive defenseman again, because that's why Charles is having trouble. It's a lot of 2-on-1s, a lot of 3-on-1s, because Riley rushes the puck up, he takes risks like PK Subban does, but there's no one who's able to help him. So that's where my only problem is. I don't mind the Caden Gooley because you want to gain experience, get the guy there. Again, he's a generation player. He'll be the next thing for Montreal. No problem with that. So that's my only downfall.
So what's your grade then? Am I a little higher than the D+ and C- that you're giving these boys?
I give it B-. I give it B-, B-, B-.
Favoritism from teacher there.
I don't know if it's
Teacher's
favoritism. I don't think it's favoritism.
There is logic behind it, and to me, like I said, Cale Makar was with someone who can help him.
Yeah.
And it's just that bottom pairing. It's just that bottom pairing. If you would have fixed that bottom pairing, have one other guy with Noah Dobson, I may have even gone B+, A-. But that's what I'm missing.
That's fair. All right, and we move on to goaltenders. Adam, who are your 3 goalies?
So I have Mackenzie Blackwood.
Yeah.
I have Tristan Yari.
Mm-hmm.
I have Fleury, Marc-Andre Fleury.
Okay. And you give yourself a grade of obviously A+?
Goalies in Canada is like there's not many to pick from. The only one you could probably put in there is Jordan Binghamton. That's probably about it.
Yeah, he has an attitude problem, though. I left him off my team.
Same.
You don't need
That's
that.
exactly
In
why.
a short tournament, you don't need somebody with an ego like that.
No, and if he does something like that at the WHF is way more strict than
Yeah.
the NHL when it comes to stuff like this. So if he does one thing like that, he's suspended 2-3 games. You guys have a problem.
All right, Evan.
I have one different, and I think you not that you forgot about him, but he is another one that you could sub in. Darcy Kemper.
Instead of?
Well, I have Kemper, Jari, and I have Fleury.
So you removed Blackwood.
Which I have no problems with that either, because Darcy Kemper is another solid goalie.
So what's your grade?
Yeah.
I give Evan an A- for that. Goalies are easy. Like there isn't much there. I'll give you an A-.
There's not much options.
All
Like,
right,
A-. Like it's hard.
Justin.
So I have Fleury, I have Hart, and then I had Murray as my third, just because he's won before. He knows what it takes to win.
I guess goalies were hard.
I'm not a fan of Kemper. I feel like he was just a product of a good team. He had to play. He was an okay goalie.
Good in Arizona. That wasn't
Yeah, but
product of a
you're
good
doing good
team.
now.
But he
You
wasn't
picked
great
Matt
in
Murray
Colorado.
over Blackwood or Tristan Yari, and even Jordan Binghamton.
I had Yari. It was between Yari and Murray. It was, but I went a guy who won before. That was the deciding factor.
There's your Fleury. That's your Marc-Andre Fleury.
All right, Adam. What's your grade for poor old Justin here?
C+.
C+. Jesus Christ. We're also looking for a new co-host for this show.
Evan, you're up.
No, I can't. I can't compete with Joel every night.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a tough gig. Takes thick skin. All right. My team. Carter Hart, Marc-Andre Fleury, Mackenzie Blackwood.
I don't mind Carter Hart, but I just keep remembering about what happened to him like last year. Or was it last year or year before, like how bad he was? Like he doesn't have that
Under
consistency
pressure.
yet. Yeah, he doesn't like he did really well in the
To me,
bubble.
on any of these teams, though, Marc-Andre Fleury is your starter.
Mhm.
On any of these teams, and it's the other two that are gaining experience in that backup role. I don't even care if you rotate them, being in the
That was my
stands.
thing. I would rotate like mine would be Tristan Yari and Fleury rotate. And Fleury guides.
What
Mackenzie Blackwood.
scares me, though, with Jari as a starter is I feel like he's inconsistent. And you've seen this year after year where Pittsburgh goes on stretches where Casey DeSmith's the guy. They haven't had a bona fide starter in Pittsburgh since Marc-Andre Fleury. Murray lost the net to Jari. Jari loses the net to DeSmith. At one point, DeSmith lost the net to Louis Domingue. It's like he's a good goalie whenever he's hot, but he's not consistent enough for my liking for me to put him on a Team Canada. And I think that might be the same point that Justin was trying to make with Kemper. I just think, just again, thinking youth movement, thinking next generation. You look at the States, for example, it's hard to take less than 5 goalies on that team. Like you got, Hellebuck, Ottinger, Demko, if John Gibson's a good goalie. Jonathan Quick doesn't have terrible numbers. Like he could play on that team. There's a bunch of guys that could easily make that team. But Canada, I don't think has that right now.
Canada's always struggled with goaltenders.
Yeah, I mean, if your name didn't start with Carey and end with Price for a short period of time, it's kind of scary. But yeah, Marc-Andre Fleury's my guy. Rotate Blackwood and Hart.
I have
Yeah, I
Kemper
agree
as the
with-
starter.
Pardon?
I have Kemper as the starter, battling out the. So listen,
He already gave you your fucking
If you have to
grade.
say listen, it's probably something ridiculous.
Yeah,
No,
you probably
I'm-
should
I'm
stop.
gonna make my grade
Stop.
lower.
You're
Listen.
digging yourself a bigger hole.
I would have Kemper versus Fleury. Whoever performs best plays the bronze medal.
Plays in the bronze.
Bronze
You don't even
medal.
have them
Wow.
goal.
Oh, sorry. You know what I meant. Sorry.
No, we didn't know what you meant. Listen.
That's
Give
quarterfinal.
yourself a grade for your GMing job if you're not even expected to go gold for Canada with NHL players. So
All right. Adam, what's my grade in nets?
I'm gonna give you a B.
Okay.
B minus for that. Because like I agree with you, Tristan Yari, but it's a short term event. If Yari's hot and he's probably going to come into the tournament focused and determined, he's going to be hot, and I can't see him completely failing unless he folds under pressure. That's the only part I can see him maybe going. But then that's why Fleury's there. Fleury's been there, and like you said, you can rotate and start Yari off with the weaker teams. And if he does extremely well, you keep going from there.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. And Adam, what grade do you give yourself? A plus?
Always.
Always.
Always. Always. Mine is going to win the gold.
Like, I had a list here of probably another 20 guys that I had on the bubble here, just to name some weird ones. Like, I had Kent Johnson from Columbus just not making it. I had Stuart Skinner, Carter Verhaeghe. I also had Cam Talbot. I had Dante Fabro just missing out. Alexis Lafreniere, Colton Parayko, Nazem Kadri.
Yeah, I thought of him too.
Yeah, I did too, actually. I thought of Kadri, but then I kind of remembered that when it comes to playoffs and the pressure moments, he gets suspended and tossed. Last year was the only time he didn't do it, just because he probably broke his hand, and that kind of saved him probably. So that's why I didn't put Nazem Kadri there. And I know that from being a Leaf fan. Every year I go, hey, here we go again.
Yeah. So, Adam, you can't pick your own team. Which one of these three teams, if you're coach, that you're hoping your GM presents you?
Oh, 100% Joel's yours. 100%.
Thank you. We need to get a wrestling belt. I would like to get a wrestling belt for all my victories that I have and just be able to wear it.
All right.
All right, we'll move on. Let's continue with some I guess controversial topics. Let's talk about the best and worst NHL jerseys ever of all time. The only stipulation I'm doing is I'm leaving out the reverse retros just because they're single year jerseys.
It's easy to pick a terrible one.
And they only play 5 games with this jersey. Like, we're talking, they've had to wear this jersey for an entire season.
Entire season? It's not even an alternate?
Okay, it can be. Well, no, an alternate's the same as a reverse retro.
Okay, now we're okay.
I have my worst.
Okay, let's start with worst then. We'll go around the table with worst.
Mine is the worst. Is that fisherman's jersey from the New York Islanders back in the day?
I like it. I like that one.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I thought the orange was way too bright, and no. I don't. I'm not a fan of it.
All right, Evan, what's your worst?
Okay, well, the little curveball you just threw me. Can I tell you what it would have been?
Gotta be on your toes on this show.
It was gonna be. I have another answer. I already have it. So mine was the Detroit Red Wings original retro reverse. That thing was awful.
Can you jog my memory on what that one was?
It looked like a practice jersey. It was all white with their logo.
Yes. Yeah, that's a pretty dog shit jersey.
Like they stopped editing halfway through and they just...
Yeah, well, I feel like with a lot of the reverse retros, it's like whoever their free intern is for the summer gets to design them. That's your project for school is you get to design the reverse retros. And the prerequisite to getting that internship job is you've never watched a hockey game before.
My other one,
yeah.
Now that I thought about it, would be the Seals. I just don't like the teal.
Which one?
The one that says Seals and it's bright teal and it's...
So you're talking their away, because back in the day the home was the white. So you're talking the
Correct.
Away, full turquoise and yellow.
Awful.
I'm going to go next. I also had that jersey, the full teal with the yellow. That just hurts my eyes. Yeah. If I had to watch that, I would consider doing a live eye transfer, just donating my eyes to somebody else if they were still in the league using that.
Fair enough.
I don't have a worse. I mean, mine was Dallas's alternate, the neon green and black one. Absolutely hated watching that on TV. But as in an actual jersey, I can't think of one. There's
not one that you hate?
Don't have a least favorite?
Least favorite? Uh,
I mean, there was some other bad ones that I considered. Like there was one
I didn't like Buffalo's when they switched out of the black.
like this, the slug.
Yeah, I hated
Yeah,
that.
the
I
slug
hated
one
that
sucked.
jersey.
The other one that I kind of felt made it look childish or like cartoony was there was a Leafs Winter Classic, I believe, and the leaf almost looked like it was blowing in the wind. Like everything on the leaf was curved.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Is that the one against Detroit?
I don't know. We'll pull it up. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll put up all these jerseys on the screen for everybody to see. But
I've got a controversial one for you, Joel. What did you think about the Barber Pole Montreal Canadiens jersey?
loved it. Classic.
Yeah?
I liked it.
But that's biased.
Me as well.
That's biased as a Habs fan.
Yeah, same.
The one thing I don't like about those uniforms was the brown pants and gloves. I could do
Yeah, it
without
didn't
that.
make sense. Yeah.
If you just went,
Didn't add
if you
up.
just kept the navy pants and just full navy glove, I'm fine with that. But the brown was just hard for me to watch. The jerseys are already a statement. You didn't need the brown pants and brown gloves, but that's just me.
That reminds me, like another one that I didn't like was the Toronto St. Pat's jersey when they had the brown helmets, the brown.
Oh,
pants,
Yeah,
the black.
no. Anytime you
yeah.
had the brown, I don't mind the goaltenders throwing it back to like kind of the brown pads. I
Yeah.
don't mind that. But the gloves and the helmet and the pants, like it's unnecessary. I mean, if we're trying to make it realistic, there was never brown helmets. They just didn't wear any. So either don't wear them or don't do that. Bad idea. Bad idea.
If we're going to talk about horrible uniforms, I absolutely hate when Vegas and LA did those shiny ass helmets.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
But you know what?
disgusting.
Adam might have a different opinion because isn't that the thing in Europe? The leading scorer on the team or leading scorer in the league has a shiny helmet.
Not in Sweden, but there are European leagues in Europe that they do that. It's a gold helmet. You're number one in points. You wear a gold
And is
helmet
it per team or per league?
per league.
Okay.
That's
I
one
think
player
there's
as opposed to
one.
the whole team, though.
Yeah. So I think there's one there. Maybe in Czech Republic they do every team. I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that, but I know Finland, Germany, it's whoever's leading the league.
Okay. Way to single them out, make everybody else feel bad.
Well, imagine that. You single them out, and then it's like, yeah, that guy's got the most points in the league. Let me go take him out.
Well,
Let's
that's
go, Rob.
exactly what I was
Imagine
thinking.
losing it, though. Like, is it just the leading scorer from the year before or just currently?
Currently,
So, can you imagine losing it? Be like, sorry, bud, you can't wear this helmet anymore.
you
Well,
play the
yeah,
guy across.
I mean,
from you,
I wouldn't
gets
want to
3
wear it. I would
points.
strive to be the second best in the league. Because, like Adam said, it's a target on your back. If I'm an opposing defenseman and I see shiny helmet coming down the ice, I'm laying a little extra hit. I'm getting a little whack in there. I'm throwing a little cross check. Just because you're shiny helmet.
Stop him. You stop the team, maybe.
There you go.
All right. Next, we'll do best jersey. Adam?
I always got to go first. I'm a little bit boring when it comes to this, and I guess I'm just going with like an original 6 jersey, and it's still currently there. Mine's got to go between two of them, probably the Chicago Blackhawks or just the original Montreal Canadiens. They're just classics, and you
I love
can't-
the
they're
Hawks.
so
the Hawks
simple.
red. Love it.
Oh,
Love it.
they're
Love
so
the Hawks
good.
jersey.
I think they thump over more than everybody else. Like I think it's just so classic, so clean. You can never get rid of it.
You want me to?
No, Evan.
Yeah.
Evan, sorry.
All right. So I agree with Adam. Bias,
Of course.
you can call it whatever you'd like. No, listen, you call it whatever you like. There's a reason why it doesn't change. Even though that upsets Habs fans when they come out with new jerseys, everyone gets these cool logos and we have just different colors. There's a reason why that jersey does not change. There's too much history, and it's just, you can call it a toilet bowl, you can call it what you want. It's the big C and the H. It's beautiful. Everyone knows what it is. That's all I got to say.
Whoa, so you're telling me don't pick something that's not broke, right? That's what you're telling me right now? Yes or no?
Correct?
Evan, in
Correct.
case this goes over your head, he is referring back to you breaking up the Marchand Bergeron Crosby line.
Listen,
Exactly what I'm doing. Exactly. what I'm doing.
Marchand's a little bit,
No,
you know what?
no,
We
no,
won't
no,
go
no.
there. We
No,
won't go there.
we're
That's-
past
that's-
that. You got a fucking B-. Let's move on.
I get the pun. It is what it is.
All right, Justin, you're up.
Well, my favorite jersey is the original Mighty Ducks jersey. But basically the first team that I followed as a kid. So it's always one that's there for me. I mean,
But just for reference, we're not talking about the one behind us
no,
here.
no. The mighty
We're talking
Jocks.
teal and purple. Paul Correa
Correa.
getting his head taken off by Scott Stevens there at center ice.
Probably my
And then coming
favorite
back and
jersey.
just going bar down.
What's that?
Just coming back from being dead and just going bar down.
Not
and just
remembering the
selling.
rest of the third period and scoring a goal.
No.
All right, and my favorite was very close between two.
Grab it.
I can go grab it. No, I'm not going to go grab it. There's too many things. So honorable mention to the Chicago Blackhawks home jersey. Love it. Like Adam said, it's clean, it's timeless, it's beautiful. Second one that came very close for me was the Sabres jersey that they just brought back. The black and red with the big buffalo head. Love it. But my favorite jersey in history is a variation of the Montreal Canadiens jersey. It is their green leaf with the C in the middle in the stripe, almost looking like a New Jersey throwback. I'm not sure if we've had it hanging behind us in previous episodes. We'll put it up there for you guys to see.
You want me to just go around and grab it?
If you want to grab it,
I'll grab it.
Let him do something.
Okay, thanks.
In recent polls, they've asked Justin to do less, actually. This is it. This is the one. I love this jersey. I love it.
I can go
Yeah,
with that.
it's very nice. It's a Christmas vibe for sure.
Sure. Yeah.
You can't argue with that logic.
Well, there's a lot we can argue with D- over there.
Yeah, there is.
All right.
All right. So that's jerseys.
That's jerseys. We can move on. What else do we want to talk about today? There was a few things I wrote down.
I'm surprised we didn't debate who would captain this Team Canada team.
You know
There's
what?
lot of
That's a good
controversy
point.
over
I didn't have
too.
that written down, but let's talk about that. Who do you have? Who's wearing the C? And you can name two A's.
I have 3 A's. I did 3 A's.
You did 3 A's? Okay. Well, round it up to 4. You have 2 home, 2 away.
Oh, now you're putting me on the spot. But my captain is Sidney Crosby.
Yeah,
I think everybody's going to choose that.
Except for Evan. Evan, who do you have? You fucking
Tom Wilson.
Tom Wilson, your captain?
He's giving it to a goalie.
Hey,
I got
Bobby
an A-
Lou
on
action.
my goalies. I got the best score on the goalies here. Listen here.
All
Then I
right,
have,
who's wearing your A?
Angelo. 1.
Who, sorry?
Angelo.
Angelo.
Petrangelo?
Same thing. McDavid.
Yeah.
And then I have Patrice Bergeron.
Okay.
And then if I got to give it to someone else, and it's probably going to be a defenseman,
Yeah.
I'd probably give it to Dougie Hamilton.
Interesting.
Wow.
Interesting. Evan, you want to go next? Who's wearing your 4 A's?
My 4 A's would be Bergeron.
Yeah.
I'd also give one to McKinnon.
Okay.
I'm thinking on my team here. I'd give one to Letang. I had Letang, so I would put Letang.
Jesus Christ. All right.
And I'd probably give one to Stamkos.
You're fucked. Literally, you did not give a letter to the best player on the planet.
Listen, I forgot about him.
I forgot about Connor McDavid. He's playing
Because
on the
he's just
top
so-
line
he's just
that you
so-
talked about with McKinnon and
He's just so
Crosby.
obvious
It's
that I
malade.
It's so obvious that you just forgot about him. You know,
Yeah.
it's hitting you in the face, and it's just we don't.
Adam,
mention him.
if you were ever coaching a team and somebody said, I forgot about Connor McDavid, what are you doing with that player?
You're gone. Like
What if
You
he has
never
a
heard
golden
of again.
helmet, though?
you're not even going to the American Hockey League. You're in the East Coast League.
Wow. Jesus Murphy. All right. Well, I'm giving. I agree with Bergeron. You give Bergeron. You give McDavid an A. You give Pietrangelo, and just because I think he's future and it's good to get the experience, I'm giving it to Cale Makar.
No.
Not in a tournament like this. No.
Why not?
too unexperienced. Who's going to rely on him? Like,
Yeah, but he's
not
four. Who gives a
have
shit about the
voice.
fourth A?
Well, captain assistants are meant for be leaders. They're supposed to be the voices of the team if they don't like something with the coach. If there's something going on in the room that they're not performing, they need to be able to step up and, have the coach's voice going like, boys, like, this is not our game. We got to do better. Like, this shit that we're doing.
And you don't
like,
think Cale Makar has a voice? He's won a Stanley Cup. He's won the Norris.
Yeah, but my problem is he going to have a voice over, like, Huberto, Stone? Is he over Ekblad, Dougie Hamilton?
I mean, Hamilton's known to be a weird guy.
Over him?
I wouldn't give Hamilton a letter personally. I mean, he's into the same things I'm in. I'm a weird guy. He's known to be an outcast. I don't know. Has he worn an A anywhere he's played? I don't think he wore an A in Calgary. He didn't wear an A in Boston. He didn't wear an A in Carolina. And he's definitely not wearing one in Jersey.
But my thing is just like, I know he's only 23, like he's young. That's just my thing. Like, is he really going to step up, or is he going to take things in his hand? Maybe on the ice offensively, maybe, but Crosby's had that experience. Bergeron's had that experience. They can step up.
Well,
like,
Pietrangelo as well. That's why I thought you can afford. And I mean, Connor McDavid. Yeah. Jesus fucking McDavid. You don't need to justify giving him an A, but
and like
I just figured we can afford to give Cale Makar an A to give him experience, because I think in the next Olympics after this one, when Bergeron, maybe Crosby's not there, you'll see Cale Makar definitely wearing a letter, I think.
Because like my thing is too is like, if you look at like you show by example, like look at Bergeron. Boston signs Mitchell Miller. Bergeron was the one who stepped up, called out the GM, didn't bash the GM, didn't make fun of the GM, but called out the GM going, we're not happy with this. We don't like this. He took things in his hands. He took a step up as a leader and spoke out about it. And there's also examples of like last year, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, there's Bergeron on the ice picking up pucks. He's 36, 35 years old. He's picking up pucks, helping the guys out on the ice because for some weird reason, the young guys weren't there. There's only one young guy. I think they were gone. It was a training camp or whatever it is. And he stayed on the ice and helped pick up pucks. Like, there's a leader. Someone like Crosby, the way he speaks to guys when he's mic'd up. There's a video of him mic'd up over the World Cup, how calm he was speaking. Someone messed up, and he went to the bench going, hey, boys, he messed up. He knows. We don't need to tell him about it. We move on, right? Let's start doing our things properly, get focused again. Like, can you see Cale Makar really doing that with these older guys and trying to bring him into things? Like, again, that's why we put Cale Makar with like Ekblad or with, Alex Tangelo to give him that experience, because when he gets lost in that, because again, the Olympics is a bigger deal, right? You're putting better, like much better players against each other. Like, there's no Ryan Reeves out there. Yes, even though I think Ryan Reeves can really help with the team in the playoffs, but there's no one like that. You have these fourth lines full with these superstars that are speed, and it could go by quickly. That's my big thing.
That makes sense. I'm sorry.
I'm with him on that one.
Yeah, teacher's pet. Yeah,
no,
trying to get back in his good grades.
Yeah. For my A's, I had Bergeron, McDavid, McKinnon, and Pietrangelo.
So the entire first line for you has a letter.
Yeah. I just think McKinnon's a good leader. I'm
not saying he's not, but your superstar lineup that you and Evan have, whatever.
Evan, all the speedsters, all the great ones, just up front, just everybody.
Yeah, just top heavy line.
The rest.
Top heavy line.
The rest.
Yeah, they'll play 40 minutes a game.
We're good.
You guys ready?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Since we're in the Christmas spirit, where's my Christmas hat?
Oh God.
Right here. I'm gonna put my Christmas hat back on, and we're gonna give a gift to each of the Canadian teams. We'll start in the East. We'll each give one gift to each team. We'll start with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Adam, what are you giving the Toronto Maple Leafs for Christmas?
More cap space.
More cap space.
More cap space.
Good answer. Justin.
Health. Better health.
Health. That was the same one I can give. Thanks. Now they have to return my gift.
Evan?
So no, wait, I didn't say mine.
You just said it was the same thing.
Yeah,
You
but
just said it was
I
that
can't give them the same thing. So I'm going to give them some goaltending support. Justin took mine. So if you don't like your gift, sorry. All right, and Evan, what are you giving the Toronto Maple Leafs for Christmas?
A free first round bye.
Adam, what do you think of that?
That's for the hard grading, Adam.
You're going down to F. You're no longer replacing Justin as a co-host.
All right. Let's move on. I think Evan wins that one for best response. To the Ottawa Senators, what are we giving the Ottawa Senators for Christmas, Adam?
I was stuck between two.
Or are they small gifts? Sometimes you can give two gifts if they're small.
One's pretty big. One is new fan base. And
Okay.
Or a fan base.
Give them a fan base. I'm going to stick with that one.
Okay.
Fair.
You're giving them a fan base. All right. Evan?
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
So I'll explain. They just need to get their ownership dealt with so that it's out of the way. It's no longer a distraction. So it's a funny answer, but it's not.
Okay, I didn't laugh. Justin.
Well,
I had Ryan Reynolds just to kind of fix their fan base.
Fix their fan base.
I mean, they'd probably draw more. Like, how many Sens games we go to is more away team jerseys than home team jerseys?
I don't know. I don't often go to Sens games.
I don't go to see the Sens. I go to see the teams they're playing.
Oh, okay. All right, and I am giving the Ottawa Senators a pat on the back. I think that Pierre Dorian's done a good job. I think they're going to turn it around when they eventually get their new arena built. I think they're going in the right direction. I'm giving them a pat on the back. I'm giving them a job well done.
Ooh, complete moron right now with that look on his face. He's just,
what would you grade that, Adam?
There's no need for a grade here. There's no need.
I would like you to grade it, though.
No need.
He's a teacher's pet. I need you to grade him honestly.
My thing is that I think they've done a good job, but the only problem is I think coaching. I think it's just coaching at one point. That was my other one. It's because, DJ Smith has been there. I think he's done a fantastic job, DJ Smith, at developing these guys, but when it takes the next level to get them there, I don't think he can do it.
I don't think he can do it either, but I think that they've taken a shit kicking for years when it came to the way Eugene Melnyk ran it, the way Brian Murray ran it, when they had the bug-eyed walrus behind the bench. They've had mistake after mistake after mistake in that organization, the way they spent their money, the way they didn't spend their money, the way they mishandled players in the Hoffman-Carlson issue, the Danny Heatley issue, letting Alfredson walk. I just think there's been mistake after mistake for years, and I finally feel they're getting it right. And sometimes the best gift you can give somebody is to let them know they're on the right path, and that's what I'm giving them.
Yeah, I agree too. Like, I think they've taken steps in the right direction, but now it's time for results, and they're not getting results. I think DJ Smith is a great coach in the NHL, and if he's going to take a rebuilding team, I think he did a fantastic job with it. I think that's just the type of coach he is. I don't think he's got that hard ass where, he can take that team to the Stanley Cup or make the playoffs. I think you kind of need a little bit of a more experienced coach now to start bringing them in there. Because
you have a name? You have a name in mind? I have one.
He's a former coach they want back, right? You're thinking about?
No. Who do you have?
No? Well.
You want me to tell you who I have?
Who you have?
I have Joel Kenville.
That's exactly who I was thinking about.
Little Alex DeBrincat tie with Chicago.
I think that he can take him to the next step.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
So pat on the back, and then a little Hanukkah gift is Joel Kenville.
Fair. I like that answer.
All right. Moving on. Let's go to the Tricolore, La Saint-Flanelle, the Montreal Canadiens. Adam, what are you giving them?
I actually going to go down the road of giving them a pat on the back because I like how they did their rebuild. But I think they're missing a top goalie prospect. I don't think Caden Primo is going to be that Vasilevsky or that Connor Hellebuck. I think they're just missing that top prospect goalie. You're not going to go get a goalie that's a now. You want a goalie to develop like the rest of the team.
Good answer. Good answer. Evan?
Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but I have the exact same thought process. I love the way they're moving forward, the way Kent's doing everything. They're not tanking too hard to where they're losing confidence, but at the end of the day, the one thing that this rebuild that they are entering is missing is a top goalie prospect. They've got a few okay guys in Primo and Deschaux, but there's no guys that will be in 1A elite goalie. So,
all right, Justin, what are you giving the Montreal Canadiens?
Well, I was on the same path, but I'm not going to say the same answer, so I'm just going to go Connor Bedard. To be biased, I'm just going to give him Connor Bedard.
Give him Connor Bedard.
I mean, yeah.
Unrealistic. It's that's like the kid that asks for $1 million.
Pony for Christmas.
I had goalie prospect too. But you both said it, so I'm like, you know what?
I think I seen something writing when Adam was talking.
What?
I thought I seen you writing when Adam was talking. Maybe you writing his answers? No?
Relax.
Evan did. He pretty much gave the exact same speech I did.
Listen, I've had it written down since 8:35.
I wasn't even talking about you, but if the shoe fits, Evan, if you felt targeted,
He was.
if you felt targeted during that. I was talking to Justin.
Adam was calling me out for copying him, but I've had it written down for an hour and a half. I'm clear.
All right.
In my mind, I didn't even
my
need to write
gift
it
to the
down.
Montreal Canadiens. Let's just squash this kerfuffle here. My gift to the Montreal Canadiens are trade partners. We need lots of them. You can take Mike Hoffman, 2 for 1. Take Sean Monahan. Sean Starr convinced me that we don't need Sean Monahan. Let's move out Joel Edmondson. Say bye-bye to David Savard. Jake Allen, I'll pack your bags for you. Brendan Gallagher, bye-bye, Le Visit. There's just so many guys. Joel Armia, see you later. One-way ticket somewhere else. There's just so many. There's so many. I go down the list. Josh Anderson, see you later. Thanks for nothing. I don't know. There's just too much. Get rid of the extra. And
Great answer.
looking up from here. All right, let's go to the middle of the country now. We'll go to Winnipeg, Manitoba. Adam, what are you giving the Jets?
They're a little bit of a surprising team, to be honest with you. No one really expects them to do this well, but my thing, if they really want to take the next step forward, is maybe locking up a long-term top player. Because I think that's what they're missing is that superstar. They have a really good core. They've done above average, but I think that if they keep building on this, like they have a quick rebuild.
Can you throw out a name? Can you throw out a name you would like to see the Jets acquire or sign?
No, I don't have anybody specifically right now. No one specifically right now.
Nobody specific. All right. So top player from Adam. Evan, what do the Jets get from you?
They need defense. They need a top 2 defenseman or a top 4 at least.
I think their top 2 is pretty good. Neil Pionk and Josh Morrissey.
That's 2.
Yeah, well, you
Name
said
the
a
rest of
top
their
2 or a
defense.
top 4.
Yeah, but Pionk would be a perfect fit on a second pairing if they could find somebody else to play with Morrissey, is my point. They name the rest of their defensemen right now.
What about Joel Edmondson or David Savard?
Edmondson would be a good fit, but Savard is not a top 4 defenseman.
No, he's not. I'm trying to convince people, though.
Well,
I want a first-round pick.
I knew that's where that was
convinced the wrong
going.
guy.
All right, Justin, what are you giving the Winnipeg
I
Jets?
had nothing.
You had nothing. You're not giving them anything.
No.
Uncle Justin's giving you coal, Winnipeg fans. Well, Winnipeg fan. I think Ryan Lepage is the only Winnipeg Jets fan I know that listens to the show. All right. For me, I'm going to give the gift of health as well. I just feel like every time I look at the Jets lineup, there's somebody out with the IR. Even Coach Rick Bowness has been out for a long stretch of time with illness. I think if they can get everybody in the lineup, like I know even Connor Hellebuck's out right now sick. If they can get everybody in the lineup as well, there's no reason why this team can't be one of the top teams in their division. Moving on, we'll head out to Land of the Cows, Alberta. Who do you want to start with?
Doesn't matter.
All right, we'll start with the Edmonton Oilers. Adam, what are you giving the Edmonton Oilers?
Starting goalie.
Starting goaltender.
So, yeah, I think that's what everyone.
Fair enough. They thought they were getting one in Jack Campbell, but they got him on Halloween, and that ended up being a trick, not a treat. Evan, what are you giving the Edmonton Oilers?
There's so many things.
They will pick one.
I was gonna pick goalie, but I think Stuart Skinner is a good goalie when you have a guy like Connor McDavid and not a guy like Leon Draisaitl scoring goals.
It doesn't matter how many goals you let in; they'll just score.
Listen, we need defense. They need defense.
Good second answer. Good second answer. You rebounded. All right, Justin.
I had goalie as well.
You had goalie as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to go off the board here.
Don't say pat on the back.
No, I'm not saying a pat on the back. Right.
Al?
Do you remember who the superstar
Amateur
is?
hour over here.
Remember who the superstar is?
I am giving them secondary scoring.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's actually a really good answer too.
Yeah.
When
I think
McDavid
that
and
Draisaitl and Evan, like you said, scoring their way out of problems, that's a whole other discussion. But they need secondary scoring. They don't have it. If you look at their bottom six, it's poo-poo, garbage. I barely know any of them. If I had to give them a second gift, maybe a different head coach. I'm not a fan of Woodcroft. I would prefer more of a seasoned guy, not because McDavid and Draisaitl need it, but the other 20 guys on that roster do. So for me, secondary scoring. We'll move to the Calgary Flames. Adam, what are you giving the Calgary Flames for Christmas?
Easy, a new arena.
New arena. That's a good answer. That's a thoughtful answer, and it's an expensive gift. Uncle Adam came with deep pockets. Evan.
I think the gift that I would give would be a physical gift, like a person or an arena, but it would just be to give them some consistency and just to let them regroup, go back to the beginning of the year. They were off to a really hot start, and then they just shit the bed. They're kind of leveling out now, but if they can just keep it at that level, they should have no problem making the playoffs and being a contender.
Justin, what are you giving the Calgary Flames?
I think they just need to play to their potential. Just like Huberdeau, Weegar, Markstrom just need to play it the way that they're capable of playing. That's it. So I'd let them play at their skill set. They're underperforming.
So just let them figure it out.
Yeah. And for me, I think I am giving them the gift of a reset. I think that they have so many guys that came into a new system, a new city, and they come into training camp, they come into the first part of the year, you're having to learn new teammates, new strategies, new systems, your way around the city. I think there was just too many big moving parts that changed for that team in the off season to expect big things. Though they're too good not to turn things around. I just think that a lot of people started harping on them way too quick. Daryl Sutter's a great coach. He's a coach that won. He's proven to win. I think he's the right guy for the job. Markstrom's a great goaltender. But like I said, there's too many big pieces that moved that are in important roles. And you know what? It's you see it at the trade deadline. One guy comes in and he's sometimes a little step behind everybody else because he's catching up on the systems. He's moving into a new place. He's trying to get his family there. Whatever the case may be, and it takes him a little bit of time before he adjusts. I think that's what you're seeing here. And the reason why it's so evident is because you have so many of them that are having to make that transition. So my gift is just that reset and get off their back a little bit.
I half agree with you what you're saying. There is new players, new city you got to get around and everything like that. But I don't really agree with the system stuff because they're professional athletes. They're used to that. A lot of people have gone team to team, and as a coach standpoint, at the end of the day, a lot of them there's there's a lot of basic plays that you play,
So I guess I'll clarify more about what I was saying. I find you notice it with Huberdeau, where in Florida it was high highlight reel play after highlight reel play. Where he's doing these no-look passes, and he knows where Barkov is on the ice at all times. Yeah. He knew his line mates. It was consistency, and I think that's where you're seeing now. And I forget which player it was came out in the media and is all like, even Huberdeau's passes are too hard, or it's on this area of the ice, and I'm not used to that. I forget what player it was, but I'm sure it would be easy enough to find who said that. But it was just like, he's still trying to learn his teammates, where they're going to be. He's such a talented player, and he has such a vision on the ice, and obviously it's proven with the amount of points he was able to put up last year. But same thing with Kadri, after playing so many years with, Landeskog and McKinnon, Rantanen. You know where those guys are on the ice. And now you're playing on a different team. It's not just one guy that that's having to learn all these new guys. It's two guys in key roles. Mackenzie Weegar's another one. I don't know. To me, those are three important players that are kind of having to build chemistry on the fly and having to know where everybody is over and above everything else. And I
that's
think
where actually I was going to. That's where I was going for that. And that's what I meant too. But the other thing too is, you see a theme, a lot of it, and it's what players leave in Toronto it's because it's more media. They're more in the spotlight. We're in Florida. There's not much media.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you said that there's got the highlight reels, but now the media, like you said, is more pressure. The media is bigger. That's why I see a lot of people leave Toronto to smaller markets, explode, because there's a whole lot less media. It doesn't matter where you go. Toronto's got the most media. Maybe Montreal's competing, but after that, it's so much less. Like, look at Phil Kessel, goes to Pittsburgh, dominates. Well, he wasn't the center of attention. There was no media around him. Dominated.
Yeah, eat as many hot dogs as you want. You go to Vegas, you gamble, you go to all-you-can-eat buffets. It's wonderful. All right. And the last but not least, Adam, what are you giving the Vancouver Canucks for Christmas?
Consistency in their superstars.
Do you want to be specific? I mean, it's tough for Brock Besser to be consistent when he's scratched.
I get that, but the problem is that Brock Besser is doing a lot. Bo Horvat was doing a lot. Elias Pettersson last year. Not much. Pettersson finally steps up. Brock Besser is not doing much. It just seems like to me that, they can't all be on the same page at once. It seems that one's in the media, one's in the great, the other ones fail and fall. Now look at Dachathemko. He hasn't had the season that we all thought he was going to be. But again, Pettersson stepped up, Horvat doing amazing. Those two guys left in the dust. Quinn Hughes is doing pretty good.
Yeah.
But he's like a fourth forward on the ice. He doesn't play much defense at all, but he goes under the radar. But same thing, Patrick Demko does well. Bo Horvat does well. Besser, Pettersson doesn't do well. Besser does well. Horvat didn't do well. Quinn Hughes dominated. Patrick Demko is doing pretty good. To me, it seems like it's two guys, the other two are out. There's just not that balance.
Consistency, that's a good gift. It's a useful gift for that team. All right. How about you, Evan? What are you giving the Vancouver Canucks for Christmas?
So I think it's too late for consistency. I would go with a rebuild. I know they're already discussing it. Hey, don't do that. They've already been discussing it. Their GMs, don't give me that look. The GMs have already been discussing it. Elliot Friedman has brought it up. That the only guy that's not available is Elias Pettersson. He has said that.
Yeah, but I feel like every GM says that. How many times did Marc Bergevin said, "I'll listen to any call"? You're not doing your job if you're not willing to listen to any call.
Listen, it's been too long. Besser, failed ship. Horvat, doing amazing, great leader.
I don't think Besser's ship was sailed until he was a healthy scratch on Hockey Fights Cancer Night, and his dad passed of cancer. I think that was the final straw for Brock Besser, but before that, I mean, he's been underperforming for a while. This wasn't new to that night. That was the final straw, but I don't know. Like, I don't feel like a rebuild is necessary on that team. Like, they have pieces in place. I think, to be honest, as much as I've liked Bruce Boudreau in the past, I think he's not the right guy for that team. They have a lot of young and impressionable players coming up. And even their veterans aren't really veterans. JT Miller isn't old. Bo Horvat isn't old. They're guys that you would consider in your prime. So to me, you need some better guidance, not necessarily a rebuild.
Like you said, like we just locked up JT Miller. There's no way you just give JT Miller the big money and you go into a rebuild and get rid of him.
Yeah, there's no
You
chance
can't
they're
get
doing
rid
a
of
rebuild,
JT.
but I think Vancouver's doing their due diligence like any other good GM would and is listening to conversations. There's no way they're blowing up this team. How do you say that to JT Miller, who just signed 8 years? How do you say that to Elias Pettersson that signed a contract? How do you say that to Quinn Hughes, Thatcher Demko? You're not telling these guys that you're blowing up the team. I wouldn't even go as far as to call it a retool. I think the first step they do there, and I'm going to extend it not just to Bruce, I'm going to extend it to the front office as well. I have no problem, I guess, with Patrick Alvin, but I think we need to get Jimmy Rutherford out of there. Jimmy Rutherford is part of the old boys club. I think if you're going to hire a young GM that's bringing some different culture, you have to fully commit. They also brought in, what's her name?
Mm-hmm.
They have Granado there, but Cami Granado, but they also have the other young girl who's assistant GM. Is it Chateau Gay?
Yeah, it is.
They brought her in, and those are like 3 young minds that can shape a team. You don't need Jimmy Rutherford there anymore. You don't need Bruce Boudreau. Let's bring in a younger guy, whether it's a Guy Boucher, whether you're bringing a coach up from a college system, something like that. Like, let's get some younger blood, guy that's proven to work well with young guys in a good system. They need guidance more than anything because I think they have the right pieces. If you gave me a choice to work with Elias Pettersson, Bo Horvat, JT Miller, Niles Hoglander, just to name a few, they have Tanner Pearson's a good hockey player. Like, they got a lot of good players there. Thatcher Demko's a solid number 1 goaltender. Spencer Martin's proven to be a solid backup. I don't know. To me, they have the pieces to be a much better team. I just think so far, every time something's went wrong this year, it's been Rutherford and Boudreau in the media blaming a player. And I can't recall the last time I've seen a coach do that, put the onus on the player, and just, like, in the media. You do it behind closed doors. I'm sure it happens all the time. I'm sure Anna can say that. You call a guy out. But I have never seen a coach go into the media and be, yeah, Brock Besser shit the bed. Oh, this guy didn't do this. Oh, that guy didn't do this. Well, no, you take ownership, and it's a team sport. And at the end of the day, yes, the player is responsible for so much of what happens on the ice. You can only coach so much. But it's also your job as a coach to help that player dig himself out and give him the tools and the confidence to dig himself out. Put him in a situation to be able to dig himself out. And obviously, these 2 dinosaurs aren't doing that. And like I said, I'm a big fan of Bruce Boudreau. Jimmy Rutherford has built some great teams. I just think they're way too old for this type of hockey. They're way too old for the way the league is and how people are nowadays in society. And we've talked about this in a few episodes. Society is a different way. People are a different way now. The way you can talk to people and the things you can do to people have changed. They're not with the times. This has been a long rant. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Holy shit, Alec fucking Luya. I think that's how Chevy Chase ended his rant in Christmas Vacation.
I have a quick question.
Sure, quick question. Question period.
So
Go ahead.
If Besser gets traded because his ship has sailed in Vancouver, and they end up not re-signing Horvat because of the big JT contract, they can't afford it to re-sign him. I'm
going to put a staple right there before you go any further. I think that the ship can be written the right way without moving either of those guys if you fire Bruce Boudreau.
No, I disagree.
Why? Who said they disagreed? Evan or Adam?
I did.
Okay.
I haven't given my opinion.
Besser's got to leave. He's got to leave Vancouver.
Why?
He's not working there.
He's not working under a certain system. He's proven to do well in Vancouver.
He didn't work under the last system either, though. Before they hired Boudreau, he wasn't working. He's not a 35 goal scorer anymore that he was when he was younger, which doesn't make sense because he's not out of his prime. He's got to leave. He needs better opportunity. He needs to go on a team that needs a top line sniper, which is what he is. He does not fit in Vancouver right now. It's not working.
I disagree. I think it comes down to coaching. I think you get the right coach in there. You get the right leadership in that dressing room. And coaching leadership to me is very different than player leadership. Player leadership, everybody's made accountable for their stuff. Coaching leadership instills the confidence in the players to do what the systems that he's taught, and you have the skill set to do it. I think it's very different types of leadership. And I just think Travis Green, he was seen in his media, like his what would you call it, like his media appearances, doesn't have much of a fucking personality. I've had better conversations with inanimate objects. And then you had Bruce Boudreau, who is throwing little fits like a fucking Oompa Loompa, and he's just fucking... I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's senile in his old age and I'm calling out anybody I can to keep my job. And Jimmy Rutherford sitting up there like Glenn Saylor with his cigar. Yes, good job, good job, good job. Like, I don't know what the fuck those two are doing, but you get rid of those two, I think Bo Horvat stays. I think you're stupid if you get rid of Bo Horvat. And you're stupid if you're Vancouver right now to trade any of those guys because they know it's a fire sale. It's a fucking dumpster fire in that locker room. And you're not going to get full value for either of those guys because you know they want out and you know Vancouver's not dealing from a position of power. So I think it's stupid if you get rid of either of those two guys right now.
This is... I just lost my thought. Go ahead. Sorry. I had it.
Adam, do you want to step in here?
My biggest thing too is the coach gives confidence to their players. They do. And like Joe said, that you don't call them out in the media. There's a reason why when you go on interviews after a game, it's the same shit over and over and over again. Why did we lose this game? It's a game of mistakes. We made that final mistake. We could say little Johnny tried to dangle as the last guy at the blue line, lose it, go down and score. But at the end of the day, we don't say little Johnny was an idiot in front of the media. We just say it was a game of mistakes. We messed up. And then they bring up saying that, oh, well, little Johnny stick handled. That's why we lost. And then you turn around and go, well, no, it's a learning curve, right? We spoke to him. It's a learning curve. He's learning like everybody else. We have to change our train of thought when it comes to him. They don't call him out. They defend him, right? Because once you start calling people out, then you get a war in the inside. Trust me, when it goes behind closed bars, little Johnny is getting ripped a new ass.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And it happens all the time. And then it depends what role you're in. What kind of role? Travis Green may have seen Brock Besser in a different role than what Bruce Boudreau does. Bruce Boudreau could sit there and go, okay, I want you to be more of a defensive guy. I want you to stay back more, think more about being F3 in the offensive zone, not worrying about scoring those goals in the D zone. We're going to play you lower. It might not work, like Joe said, the system, but the role that you're playing. Travis Green might say, hey, we're giving you more of a freedom. You're a young guy. You got skill. And when it comes to the offensive zone, do what you like. Go cycle those pucks. Try to dangle. But if Bruce Boudreau is restricting him, well, that's also a problem as well. So that's the system, and it's also what role they're trying to play. And, if there's a leadership, if it's not a leadership, standing in front of the net, not standing in front of the net. So that plays into it too.
And I'm sure you can agree as a coach, Adam, you're never going to have... You have 20 guys on a roster. You are never going to see eye to eye with every player on what you feel their role is on that team. You're never going to have, buddy, hey, you're our third line center. I need you to be a shutdown guy. And he may see himself almost like what happened with Philip Deneau in Montreal. They wanted him to be that shutdown third line center. He said, no, that's not how I see myself. That's not the role I want to be in. See you later. And I feel like that's the situation people are in, where they don't see themselves in the same role, and Brock Besser probably doesn't see himself in that same role with Bruce Boudreau right now. And he may not have seen himself there with Travis Green, but whenever you have a player of that caliber, you don't give up that player from a place of weakness. You don't trade that player when you know that player isn't doing well. You know that player doesn't want to be there. Like, everybody and their grandmother is aware of what's going on in Vancouver right now, and that the waters are murky between the coaching in front office with Brock Besser. You don't trade him now. It would be stupid to trade him now because you're not getting anything for him right now.
There's no trade value there. But like you said too, like, huh?
What'd you say? Sorry, Adam?
No, I said you're totally right. Like, you don't trade now because the trade value's gone down. You want to get as much as you can before him until his contract expires, and you have to go, well, he's still like this, and his contract expires. Well,
and they re-upped him. I think they have another, 3 or 4 years with him. There's no rush. There's no rush.
And like you said, a lot of players, like, I've gotten to many arguments with my players, not arguments, but debates about what kind of role they want to be. They want to be on power play. I'm better on the power play, but, my team, you were on the power play before, but you're not there yet. But that, we just don't say that you're not going to be this player. We say more about, you need to work on these things. These are things you need to get back into it. That's what we do as coaches, to help them grow and to get them back in the situations. My team this year, it's the same way. I had an 18-year-old who plays our junior team, but he's playing semi-pro full-time with us now. He's always been the superstar. He's always been on the power play, but I told him, I get it. That's not your role in this team. You're going to play here because you're good, but you're not ready for that power play. You need to develop these things. And at the end of the day, he did. In our last 2 games for Christmas break, he actually got on the power play and actually did quite well. And that's where the growth comes in. And Brock Besser's still very, very young. And maybe there are things he still needs to learn, right? Because everybody hits this snag. And, look at Nathan McKinnon. He got a mental coach. After he got a mental coach, his game just went uphill. Now he's winning Stanley Cups and he's doing all this. So maybe it's mentally in Brock Besser's head. He thinks that he's still great, but he's not developing anything else. So there could be that mental side of the game as well.
Mm-hmm. I think all evidence points, though, with how many issues there are in Vancouver, that it's a little more than Brock Besser's mental game. There's definitely something bugging him. There's definitely something bugging Thatcher Demko and the other players, but I think it's definitely a bigger thing than just that. I definitely think there's some personnel changes that need to be made in the front office for them to get better. Did we even get to what you're giving them for Christmas?
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we've talked about
They've gotten enough for Christmas.
I think we just talked about them for like 5
minutes. Adam and I just turned that franchise around.
I don't know how this became a Vancouver episode, but this is what I was thinking of earlier when I had that brain fart. I think that re-signing JT Miller was the biggest mistake Alvin could have done.
That's an impopular decision.
I think they should have traded him. I think they should have traded him while his value was insane. They would have had a haul.
F+.
F+?
We just keep saying.
I don't want to just offensively minded center at $8 million for when he's 37. Just my opinion.
Well, then we play that game, then Calgary's going to bomb because Huberdeau, Kadri,
100%.
and Markstrom are all going to be 39 years old, and they're going to be useless, and then they're going to be in a rebuild. So
they were stuck, though. They were stuck. They had no other option. They lost Kachuk. They lost Gaudreau. They had to do something. They had to do something. Vancouver wasn't stuck. They were getting offers. They had insane offers from both, I believe, New Jersey and New York Rangers.
What were they?
I don't know.
That was my next question.
Listen, you're calling me out. Elliot Friedman,
Well, no, I'm not calling you out. You just said it.
After it happened,
bring it up.
Listen, okay, I'll refresh the brain. I'm gonna probably be wrong on a few of the details, but I know.
Hey, as long as Tage Thompson is playing fucking defense for the St. Louis Blues, we're in good shape.
Listen,
did we ever prove that was true?
That is false. I looked it up.
It was false?
I cannot find anything.
Me neither.
I
tried.
Who said it?
It was in a preseason game, and I don't know how my brain went that way. He did play defense in the preseason.
He's now at an F.
Listen, so I know from the Rangers, it was a first, unprotected. It was a second, and it was one of Kako or Lafreniere, and there was also a B-level prospect. That was the offer that was in place by the Rangers for JT Miller.
Just JT
Elliott,
Miller.
Just JT Miller. That is what he was
trade?
getting paid. What?
Is this a
No, this
fantasy
is
mock
Elliott
trade that
Freeman
you saw on
reporting. This
Instagram?
was Elliott
I don't
Freeman.
think the Rangers. I don't think that was pen and paper. I think
It
that
was
may have
on
been a
Elliott
fan
Freeman's
theory.
32 thoughts of what he believed and what he was told.
Sorry, you said this is Elliott Friedman? Bless you.
Yes, that was the workup.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
What he was told. You saying Elliott's bullshit or I'm bullshit?
No, Justin's allergic to bullshit.
It was Elliott Freeman on his 32 thoughts. It was
Well, I'm going to try real hard to get Elliott Friedman on in the next few episodes.
And we're going to show him that
ask
clip
him.
of you talking.
Yeah, we're going to see what he thinks. If that was true, if that's true, Evan, I will come on air and I will give you an
If you want me
apology.
to go through those tweets and I will find it, it's in one of his podcasts. He said it on his podcast what he was told the asking price and the giving price was. He said this is what he believes the Rangers would be able to offer and what he's heard from all his sources, what they have offered and what Vancouver has declined, all that stuff. So if you go in there,
who is that? Chris Drury right now? I don't think Chris Drury's given that up. Unprotected first, sure, whatever. They're a good team. They're not finishing.
They thought they had a cup.
They're not finishing low. Second round pick, great.
Rangers thought they had a cup last year.
In a B level prospect, sure. But to give up Alexis Lafreniere, who's a younger version of JT Miller, does not make sense.
He hasn't proven himself.
Okay, well, JT Miller didn't prove himself until he
had 100 points, though. That's what. No, what I'm saying is the Rangers thought they had a chance at the cup last year when that trade was happening. That's why they were going all in. Because to them, Lafreniere was a third liner on that playoff team. They had a chance at the cup. That's why they were willing to do that. And I didn't even get into New Jersey.
Okay,
That's
get a load
the
of New
point.
Jersey then.
Oh boy.
New Jersey was the first, the second.
Yeah.
But listen, it
If
was
he
their
says he was,
first this year.
Reading the shit.
So it would have been a top 3 pick.
Okay.
I think they.
And
he
what
was
else?
Up in the lottery,
What
right?
else?
And I think it was a prospect.
First, second, and a prospect.
That
What
one's
type
more
of
realistic.
prospect, though?
That one's more
That's
realistic.
yeah. Especially if it's
It was
this
an
year.
A. It was an A. So if I had to think, I think it's one of those defensemen.
Yeah,
That
I
was
can
brought
see
up.
that. Because that's
It was
pretty
a
much the
defensive
asking price for Jacob Chikrin. That's pretty much the asking price for Jacob Chikrin, so I can
But-
kind of see that.
I can see that, but to me, giving up an A, B, unprotected first in a second is a little overkill.
The
And I
Rangers
think
one
Chris
was-
Drury's too smart to offer that. I don't think that's an offer because I also think Vancouver's not dumb enough to say no to that.
The
Yeah,
Rangers
and
was
then-
contingent on a contract extension and on the Canucks retaining 50% for that season so that they can make a big push, which JT was already making $6 million. So he would have been getting $3 million. So that's why they would have paid such a high price.
To retain $3 million, but
And it's a
halfway
high
through the year at a
price.
deadline, they don't owe him 8
No, because that's a high
or 6,
price.
whatever the fuck it was.
No, I know, but it counts on your cap, does it not?
Yeah, but it goes
Oh.
by percentage, so they would have already paid him. When's the deadline?
Miller
March.
was discussed way before the deadline. So if he could have been done 2 weeks before the deadline, they could have had that extra space and acquired somebody else. Even if it's just a depth guy, the Rangers thought they had a chance last year, which they did. They just didn't get that extra piece, that JT Miller.
No,
Yeah,
which
I don't know if JT Miller gets them by the Tampa Bay Lightning, but
I think
No.
that they could have made him better. But like my thing is, JT Miller was done. He's more of a loner piece at that point.
yeah.
That second A and B for a guy who you're going to get for 3 months and then maybe possibly walk. That's a
No, so that
lot
was
of
the
aspirations.
thing. The Rangers was contingent on an extension being signed.
That's
but I don't
a lot of
think
that's
that-
a lot of what ifs in this situation. I mean, I'm not saying that Elliott
But the
Friedman
problem is-
didn't say that. I just think,
I'll send
everything
you
in
the
life,
podcast tonight.
everything in life is possible, but not all things are probable. And I don't think that's a probable trade that could have happened. But who am I? What do I know?
And next episode, I want you to say on air as soon as you start before your intro that I was right, because I'm going to send it to you. I watch every one of his 32 thoughts, and
You
Okay,
find
all
it. You send it
I
to
will
me.
send it to you.
Like I said,
And
I'm
if
not
he's
saying you're
wrong-
wrong. I just want to say, Adam, give a shout out to your team there in Sweden.
I hope what can I say? Oh yeah. Oh guys in Sweden, Kunyev, I hope you guys are not drinking beer too much, getting fat, because when I come back on the 30th, we're skating.
Bag skates. I love it. Love it. Herb Brooks.
I didn't say bag skate, I just said skating.
You just
I'm saying bag skate. Get the whistle out on the line.
I don't
Love
put my
it.
skates on.
Merry Christmas. All right. Swedes, probably the nicest people I met.
Oh, they were the best at the tournament.
They were so nice. So many nice people. I actually want to give a shout out. I want to pull up his name. I don't want to. I know his name is Marcus. I don't want to screw up his last name. Marcus Mackin. Absolutely beauty of a guy. He was an injured goalie for Sweden. He actually gave us a signed stick that we're going to put up here in studio. Just super nice. All the Swedes were fighting for interviews. Even the coach. The coach was hilarious. If you didn't see one of the interviews,
It was amazing.
I asked him,
I like Putin.
what about
Putin,
Putin?
yeah.
And he thought I was talking about Putin, Vladimir Putin. But no, that was super funny. Just a beauty guy. That's Anders Eriksson. I hope he makes it to the show. This guy's a pure gem. Rasmus Dahlin's dad, Martin Dahlin, was a super great guy as well. Just through and through, that entire Swede team, just great people. And I don't know what it is in the food or the water over there, but so kind and so nice. I can't say enough good things about them. And you know what, there wasn't a bad person there. Like sometimes hockey players get a bad rap for cocky or whatever, but honestly, just such a great group of guys. Liam Watkins, Trent Crane, Ethan Morrow, Jacob Fowler, Cole Knuble, Sam Renzel. Just a great group of guys. Quinn Finley, Gavin Lindberg, Garrett Shifsky. There's just so many good guys. Hudson Malinowski, one of my favorite guys to watch at that tournament. There's just been so many
He was a
good
beauty
players
to watch.
Yeah, he was so fun.
It's the same way when you get to Sweden too. They're such great people. They're so nice.
Yeah.
When I was there for the first time last year, everybody was just so accepting. Everybody just wanted to get to know you right away. Like they're not very outgoing. Like when it comes to like Canadians, like if you go on the bus and just some random guy, like you don't typically start conversations. But if like you're coming into their group, or like if you're being part of something that they're working towards, like they are so nice. Like when I worked at the grocery store last year there, everybody just accepted me instantly. They were asking me how my day was, and like I've never had a bad experience with them at all, about like the people I've worked with on my team when it comes to players or the staff. When I was at the grocery store, I'm not there anymore. They were just amazing people.
Yeah, no, I can't say enough, and that's kudos probably culturally, but to the families as well. And like I said, the families from Team Canada, Team USA, even Latvia. I'm not going to try and pronounce some of those names. So difficult. Another absolute beauty. Before I forget, other than your couple buddies you sent there, Otto Stenberg.
Otto Stenberg.
Oh, sorry. I made a joke to the guys. I'm the Don Cherry of those interviews. I butcher every name, even some of the local guys. Pronunciation isn't my strong suit. Noah Dower Nelson, he was a beauty as well.
Oliver Dower Nielsen.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
But you know what? One of the coolest guys I met was an absolute giant from Sweden. I'll pull up his name as well. He worked with me to say it right.
At the 6'5"
Yes,
kid.
yes. The 17-year-old at 6'5". Oh God, what's his name? Here it is, Christian Kostadinsky. Absolute fucking beauty. This guy is. He's funny. His teammates love him. Absolute gem. Another super nice guy, Anton Wahlberg, Noah Erlander. Like I said, there's so many guys. I know I'm missing some, and I'm sorry, but just there's so many nice people that we met in the last week. Coach Eric Root from Team USA and Justin Falk from Team Canada West and Billy McCougan. Butchered that name as well. The PI, I apologize to the province of.
He's just gonna start naming every single player that he knows on the roster that he interviewed now.
Seems like it.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to miss anybody just because of how nice everybody was.
Yeah.
And they didn't have to talk to me.
No.
And that's the thing. And in a lot of our interviews, we obviously trim stuff to make it flow and to make it go together. But the conversations and the joking in before and after and in between, or if those guys just finished playing and they're watching the second game and, just having conversations like, even the referees, there was, interviewed Anthony, he was a beauty as well. Like there was just, everybody was so nice and so down to earth. And for our first experience of getting outside the studio and doing stuff off of Zoom, was just a crazy experience, and I'll sleep well for the next couple weeks. But just so cool, and it's just an awesome experience that you get to live this over in Sweden for a job. Like that is, you are fortunate. You are leading probably a job that a lot of people would dream about having. So good for you for going after that and the hard work that you've put in and, running your development camp as well when you're back home. Like, you're a go-getter. It's impressive because you're young still.
Yeah, and I've been very thankful for it. I have a lot of people to thank for it. Like, I just didn't get here by myself. I learned from a lot of people. A lot of people are nice enough to take me under their wing, and just Sweden taking a risk on me. Like, they didn't need to take a risk on a 22-year-old for their U16 team, and then 3 months in, hiring me as the intern head coach as their semi-pro team, because we play in the fourth highest pro league in Sweden. So they didn't have to do that either. So I'm very thankful. And like I said, I work really hard, and I don't have all the answers. I'm still developing, but I think I love it. I think it's amazing. And I have a lot of thanks when it goes to Kunyev and, everybody who's developed me and put me in this role. And the players that have let me be younger than them. So my players are younger than most of my players, and allowing me to do that. And they've done such an amazing job, and I'm very thankful for them, and they get all the credit for what we've done so far.
Yeah. And like you said, it's so important. It's almost like a passing of the torch. Whenever you see somebody that's more experienced than you, willing to take you under their wing and coach. And that's a good sign of a leader. And we're lucky. Like, I know Jim Lang texted me a few times throughout the tournament after watching videos, and he's all like, we should do this differently or do that differently. And Craig Button, even at the tournament, just giving pointers and giving his take. Like, these guys don't have to do that, but they're just class act people. And, like you said, you're fortunate in your coaching and in your development camps that you've had people that have stepped up and done the same for you. So, those guys are also unsung heroes of, sport.
Yeah, and I'm just doing what they did to me. Like, if someone wants to help me out, or like, I've always have people like in my summer program, I've always have like these, 14-year-olds that want to say, well, I want my hours, but can I come on the ice with the 9-year-olds? But in there, I just don't let them do what they want. Like, I'm trying to tell them, like, talk to them this way, or try and do it like this.
Yeah.
Maybe I can just spark an energy, and we grow the game that way, and we keep them in the game longer, or they learn more through that way.
Mm-hmm. So. All right, this is a new segment that we have. It's called 5 Minutes of Fighting. We are going to talk with some local hockey scrappers. Paul Shantz, who's played in the Federal Hockey League, the LNAH, amongst other Quebec major hockey leagues. He did some stints in the minors as well. No shyness of dropping the mitts. The other one we have is my cousin and good friend, Corey Payment, who has also played in the Federal Hockey League and the LNAH. Corey, as somebody that may not be a traditional fighter or as willing to drop the mitts as Paul might be, how did you prep for these games, knowing that at any chance you can be called upon and you're put in a situation where you got to drop the gloves?
it doesn't matter in that league. If the other team does something that is against the old school rules, and I can tell you that one of the games against Saint Jean in the final, Ben Deschamps, there's a clip of it, and again, I get fed my lunch by a guy I knew was going to feed me my lunch. It's McCutcheon from Saint Jean. I don't do the regular history of if he's left-handed, right-handed. Ben Deschamps gets in a fight right in front of the goalie. McCutcheon goes to jump in. I throw my gloves off. I grab him. We get behind the net. And mistake number one was letting him up off the ice. I let him up off the ice. I thought I had him tied up. And the fight was on. He started delivering left. And all of a sudden, my coaches said, you know what? Corey's in trouble. Empty the bench. Like, that's going to happen.
So is that a conversation that actually happened? Because that was something I mean, there was a few brawls where it was just like, holy fuck. Like,
we had 6 brawls in 4 games in that finals.
So is that something the coach would actually say, okay, boys, go?
Oh, he didn't have to say, with the guys we had in the lineup, he didn't have to say much. I mean, if anything was going on, we knew we would be suspended for most of this stuff. And I mean, yeah, we were ready to go. I mean, we had a 4th line. It was, yeah, we had a 3rd and a 4th and 4D that were ready.
Well, I mean, off the top of my head, there's you, Paddlard, fucking Simon Desermeaux, Kenny McLeod.
Oh, yeah. LP Charbonneau, Terry Bartlett came in, Jean-René Forget.
Yeah.
And Mathieu Rabi, Simon Desormeaux.
Oh, Rabi, yeah, I forgot about Rabi. He's scary.
Yeah, we would have been tough in the North American League. Like, we honestly would have been, we had a pretty tough team.
Yeah.
Ben Deschamps, we talk about Ben Deschamps. The guy got beat up more than any, like, he would lose or do average, but he loved to start the shit. That guy was basically sadistic. He would go in there knowing he'd get beat up and just love starting shit. So the guy would, and he was teaching, or he might have even been a principal already at that time. And the guy would just show up at the rink. He was basically the biggest retard going, but with class. So he would talk to you like a teacher, like a principal, and then he would hop on the ice and he would act like a 13-year-old that was stealing chocolate bars at the dépanneur. He was just a retard. I loved him. Oh, he was great.
It's true. He's the first game again. We lose in the finals the first year of the Comets. Then our budget goes up a lot, and we bring in guys we needed to win. And who started? One of the guys we brought in, Ben Deschamps, Corey Holland. Here we go. Puck drops, he charges from the other blue line right after him. And Saint Jean looked up too. I was like, Ben starting this? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on here?
Oh, yeah, I love Ben.
I remember he's probably the only person, like the cards that I was showing you guys, they sold those at the kiosk. He actually printed his own little like wallet size photos and was handing them out to people before the games. And I'm like, okay, so I don't know what he was doing, but he got his own little stats at the back. I'm like, okay.
Oh, you gotta love Ben. Wow.
Yeah.
He even got suspended the one time. Didn't he sucker punch a guy and then he had to do he got in trouble with the law. I think nobody pressed charges, but there must have been a cop at the game or something, and they saw it and they he got in trouble for that one.
Just
but anyway,
a little community service never hurt anybody, Paul.
There you go. You might have. Oh, yeah, I think you went to hand out. You might have done.
Well, yeah, he handed out his cards. That was probably what it was for.
There you go.
Yeah.
Maybe that's your answer for you.
Well, I think that's a a good way to wrap up the episode on a
Absolutely.
positive note.
And Evan's been quiet for 20 minutes. So.
Yeah, we just have the small screen
Sober
whenever
down.
he's starting to sober up. He's starting to sober up.
Listen, Adam, it was great talking to you again, though. I missed you since our ball hockey days. I'm very glad you're doing amazing. It's nice seeing you.
Any nice things to say to Justin or I?
Yeah, I'll be streaking by your house tonight.
Ah, right.
Well, I just want to say, I'll start with Evan. Evan, it's good seeing you again. I really appreciate it. I miss our conversations. We were like this when we played ball hockey. I love just joking around
Great
with you.
time.
I take nothing personal from you because I know
I never do.
it's you. Like, there's
And you know,
no-
I'm also a dummy, so even if it was real,
I think everybody knows that just by looking at you. But
exactly.
Justin and Joe, next time we do this, we're wearing our Kings and Little Ones jerseys.
I'm in.
All four of us. When
Yeah.
we get there.
I don't know if I still have that, but I'll see what I can do.
I'll wear
I'll
the
wear
hat.
mine. I'll
At
wear
least the
mine.
hat.
Next time I come on, so it's all. If you want me back on, so
I
I'm
would
just
love to
saying
have you
that,
back on. It was fantastic. I hope
Yeah,
you
it was fun.
enjoyed yourself.
I had a blast. I love doing things like this. But thank you guys for having me. It was amazing. I love talking hockey, and I hope you guys have a great Christmas and a good New Year.
Thanks.
And,
Same to
see
you,
you
and
next time.
keep up with the Swedish scouting reports you send me, and I'll be following your league and your videos, your development camp. It's if you guys don't follow him on Instagram, what's your Instagram handle, Adam?
AVE_player development.
Some great videos if you got any young ones, or if you're in the beer league and you're looking to step up your game a little bit.
You'll be seeing my son in a few years, that's for sure.
In the beer league?
Sounds
No, in the development.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, boys. To all of you watching, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Just a little sneak peek. We got some big names coming in the new year. Starting in the first week of January, we have Jeremy Roenick joining us. We also have Lori Dupuis, Scott Pearson lined up, James Duthie, Mark Dumont from The Athletic, and I'm sure we'll have Adam and Evan back on. So on behalf of Average Jocks, Merry Christmas.